All right, so welcome to the section where we got Professor Brooks on the line, and we're going to talk about what we said we're going to talk about. That's mentorship. What is mentorship? How did I even get myself into this thing? So, Professor Brooks, I was I was watching my nephew run at the Jamaica Trials over the weekend, and
Mhm.
he's a kid that I've been mentoring since like 2017, 2016, thereabout. And
Okay.
as I'm watching him run this race, going into the race, let's back it up a little bit. Going into the race, right? I was like, okay, he has another race to run. I was like, no big
Mhm.
deal, right? He ran at the NCAA championships. He didn't finish so good in the finals, but he still ran a good race. And I was just like,
Mhm.
no big deal, right? Then he goes to Jamaica to run the Jamaica trials. And I'm still thinking, no big deal. He's just going to run, make a team, win the race, and move on, right?
Mhm.
He gets into the final with the fastest time.
Wow.
And I'm just like, okay, no big deal. Because again, he's going up against a couple of guys in that race who have world championship medals already, Olympic medals, and so forth. And he's
Mhm.
still in college. He has 2 more seasons in college. But then the race started, and my emotions began to change little by little by little. And when it came down to the final 50 or 60 meters of the race,
Mhm.
my emotions began to shift. And I turned into a screaming supporter from the sidelines in my room watching the online feed.
Mhm.
And then when he crossed the line in first place, there was a sense of relief. And then I
Mhm.
just started to cry. And I think it was
Okay.
at that moment I realized the connection that I have with him as his mentor. That it's deeper than just telling him, stay in school, watch it for this, tell me how this is going. It was at that moment I realized I am here doing something that is greater than I've realized, which is the
Mhm.
reason why we're at this point of this presentation. And I had to call
Yeah.
you to walk me through this, man. So thank you for your time.
You're welcome. You are always welcome. So, mentoring, right? That's what we're talking about today. So,
Yeah.
to you, what is a mentor to you? I'll tell you what a mentor is and what a mentor does. Um, you tell me what you thought going into mentorship, what mentorship meant for you.
You want me to go now? Tell you what I thought it was?
Yeah, tell me what you thought it was.
Well, initially, I didn't even see myself as his mentor. I just saw him as a quote unquote family member that I was just trying to show the ropes for something that I experienced. So I
Mhm.
didn't really put that whole mentor label on me until later in the process. So for me, mentoring I never really connected with the word mentor. I just know that it's good to have somebody showing you the ropes.
So, for many of us, we have mentors or we mentor others without looking for that label or classifying it as such. We understand the value of having someone to help you grow your skills, make life decisions based on their own experiences, and to even give you some perspectives on life, career, and, decision making based on their life experiences, right?
Uh huh.
And that's what a mentor does. That's what a mentor does. You may look at it as an elder in the company you work with, or for like you in the world of broadcasting, you may look to someone you used to listen to on the radio before and look to, reach out to them and seek guidance from them. That's mentorship, right? You're the mentee and they're the mentor. So they're going to leverage their experience leverage their knowledge and impart that to you to help you grow. So that, as a mentee, that helps you reduce some of the pitfalls of life, right? You don't have to go through the trial and error. You don't have to, make the wrong turns. If you have a mentee giving you guidance, you're able to, follow the right path, and what what roles you need to imitate through this mentor. So,
interesting.
Why are you laughing?
No, because it feels like I was doing that without even thinking about that.
Correct.
Correct. Because as you said, somebody try to prevent you from going through the whole trial and error. Because for me, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of pitfalls, a lot of landfills, landmines that as an international student you're going to face. There's a lot of situational ships that you're going to face, even just in how people express themselves. And I got to try to teach you, this is what that means before it comes in you and you don't know how to react to it. I get it.
Correct. And we know as international students, right, learning and growing in America, that there are unique challenges that we have that other students don't have to deal with, and they're not always the right people in place to advise you accordingly. I know the colleges have enhanced and improved advisement programs and so forth at the schools, but that doesn't always meet the unique needs of international students navigating, school in America. But even you mentoring him, you've taken all that knowledge that you've accumulated through your years as an athlete, your years as a coach, your life in the realm of sports, and you transferred it to your nephew for his benefit. That's mentorship. That's mentorship.
Man, this is a heart-to-heart right now, family. If you're hearing this is a heart-to-heart regarding mentorship, because I just never realized it until he crossed that finish line. That, dude, this is what you actually do. But that word mentorship is a new word to me. I mean, I've heard it. Give me some historical context to it, because there's always some connection somewhere from the past. How did they even come up with this whole stuff?
So mentorship, the word has a very long history. It comes from mentor itself, comes from the character mentor in Homer's Odyssey. And in the story of Homer's Odyssey, this character, he was the companion of Telemachus, Odysseus' son, and mentor gave him guidance while Telemachus was away from his home and his family. So mentor was the one, sheltering him and guiding him, using his experiences to give examples and to show Telemachus how and what, he needed to do and the pitfalls of life to avoid. So that's where mentor, the word mentor comes from.
So mentor, mentor is a person in the Odyssey story? Because I've never heard that story.
Yes, he's a person. Yeah, he's a person in the Odyssey story. Yep.
Wow.
Find it on YouTube University. There's a short version of it. You can, skim it one of these days when you have some time.
True. I guess for me, when I thought about mentorship, I kind of felt like, am I going to be like that Karate Kid guy, wax on, wax off, grasshopper, was I overthinking it or what?
Yeah, you're overthinking it, right? Because, yes, those are the epitome of mentorship, and, you're striving to be like this person, and, they're given a demigod status, right? So that in itself puts pressure on you as a mentor, and mentorship in itself can feel and seem to be an intimidating thing to embark on, right? You hear people in the school setting, you have people coming in and say, I'm going to run a mentorship program, and you see them 2-3 times a year and they're done, right? and you're like, what is this? What is this crap with these people running around, getting all this grant money saying they're doing mentorship for these, inner city kids, and they do, much of nothing. And then you have the other flip side where you see some mentorship programs that people come in and they're buying the kids lunches and and it's just a bunch of gifts. And you're like, okay, that's intimidating too, because I want to mentor a child, but I don't have the deep pockets to, shower you with presents and gifts and things, that I see others doing. And for me, even being part of that mentorship program, I had to realize that that's not going to be me. That that gift giver, food type of thing. That's not going to be. I'm going to be there to help scaffold these young ladies in their life choices, help them, take the correct pathway academically into whatever form of, higher ed they want, whether it's technical school or college, be a second layer of support for their parents, right? That's me. That's my purpose in mentorship. So you have to find your own purpose in mentorship when you're, to guide others. What do you want to do, right? It's not based on Mr. Miyagi or, based on Luke Skywalker and Yoda type of relationship, right? You need to create your own, which you have, right? By happenstance, you did.
Yeah.
And for me, even as a mentor, I am I didn't really know how to navigate Instagram and so forth. But my mentee, between the relationship of being with my mentee, they were able to sit and kind of give me some pointers and tips on, how to operate in the social media space.
What's the difference between a reel and a story and and something else?
Well, not that much, but a few of the other things. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it's a reciprocal relationship, and there are myriad of benefits that you and your mentee get out of this experience, and you're able to share in their growth, and and one of the biggest things too is through the process of, and I tell people that often as an educator, through the process of teaching others, you learn. And this is one of the best ways to learn, in the sense that you develop a level of competence in what you're teaching. More and more, when I teach, and I teach my subjects every semester, when I go back to the material, I pick out something new. I see I discover something new in what I've been doing, and I've been in the same text and the same content for how many years teaching the subject. Each time there's a new discovery, and the same thing with being a mentor. You're giving back. You're reliving these life experiences. You're looking at them through different lenses. You're reviewing pathways you've taken, and there's new revelation.
Can I tell you something?
Right.
I because I coach as well. Right. But I realized when I got into coaching, I didn't realize how much about coaching that I knew from a technical aspect, from a logistical aspect, and everything else, because it is something that I did. So it's like you're saying, you're validating your leadership skills in a sense.
Exactly.
And I never connected in before.
Man. And it improves your ability to communicate in that field too, right? You're justified and validated in your expertise as a coach.
Yeah. And
you communicate clearly because you're seeing, you lived it. You gave mentorship. You're seeing it, come to fruition. You develop that level of confidence in what you're doing, and now other people are going to look at you as an advisor, as a qualified advisor, right? Like, you're his mentor, but hey, I'm going to come to you for advice because I see what you're doing with him, and I see that you're qualified, right? That you kind of know what you're doing, so let me come talk to you.
You kind of know what you're doing, son. We'll talk to you about it. Now, but that's real talk though, man, because I can't stress enough how I felt again the flush of emotions that, look, this is a kid that I'm talking to, and I think one of the things about his story, which I found to be very crucial, was that when he went to college, he left Jamaica and went all the way to Texas, El Paso. That's like California. That's like Mexico. You could literally see Mexico from his dorm room, right? Because I went there on a visit with him, And the crazy thing about that trip, right, in helping him to settle into the school, once he settled into school, I think it was in like 2 or 3 months in, his mother passed away.
Oh, wow.
Right? And in talking to him during that process, it was surreal, because it was a phone call I dreaded every time I was in college. And I said to him, I can't tell you how that feels to lose your mom, but I can tell you I dreaded getting that call every day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be empathetic to the situation, but I really can't, because I've never been there. But even just the thought of it kind of put me there, and I think that helped, in the process, and in talking to him through it, So, man, so many things, man. So let's talk about this, man. So you talk about communication, you talk about perspectives, and giving back to new talent. As we're coming up on the break, tell me, mentees, how do they benefit? It seems obvious, cool, yeah, but break it down for me, the benefits to the mentees.
So of course, the knowledge transfer. You're sharing knowledge with them, and they're understanding, their place, whether it's on a team, in a company, and you're allowing them to help them access that information to reach their goals. Now, another thing is problem solving. Mentors are there to help, for you to have a sounding board, a trusted voice that you can go to when you're having a challenge. You have a situation, you can't find a solution to it. You can go to that mentor and you can share in that safe space your concerns, your challenges, your issues, right? So they learn problem solving, because a lot of times as a mentor, you won't always give them the answer. You're the person that's going to push them to that place where, I need you to dig deeper so you can figure it out yourself. Because we know, like parents, right? We're another level of quasi. As mentors, we're a quasi parent to these individuals.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to help them push their, extend their abilities when it comes to problem solving. And then mentoring these younger individuals, they also, through the process of learning and problem solving and being able to develop a level of independence, that puts them on a better career track, right? So they're in a place where now they have the potential to be promoted wherever they are, because they have a different level of expertise, right? Different level of knowledge. This new kid on the block is coming in with all these great ideas and, problem solving skills and so forth. And you're looking at them as their boss, supervisor, like, this kid has some real potential, right? They're on a fast track for promotion because they have a mentor. Another thing is, when you're with a mentor, usually as a mentor, you take your mentee to places with you when you're conducting business, because you're exposing them to, the world whatever the mentorship is that you're doing. So in your case, coaching with me, a lot of times is career development. Yeah. So we're taking our mentees out to these places that they probably wouldn't have accessed without them being part of our mentoring, being our mentees, rather.
That's true.
And through our mentorship, they're able to network with others.
No, it's true, because... And
we connect them with people. Go ahead.
I remember connecting him with another guy. He also came through the whole scholarship thing. And, he was from a whole other high school, went to college as well, and did his own thing, got married, had the whole family. And we're just talking to him about building a family. You should look into that as you grow in college, And so now that you mention, it's like, wow, we did that one 4th of July. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow, this
Take
is
them out of their comfort zone, take them in a new place, and have these conversations, right? And then, of course, you're enhancing skill development. That's a given.
uh-huh.
And and you learn the culture of the career of whether it's a workplace, whether it's the field of work, and it's in your case, coaching athletics.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to learn the culture of athletics, to be in the presence of conversations about coaching. So he's going to hear what's happening on the other side of, he's being coached by his coach, but being around you and around other coaches, he's privy to certain conversations and certain dynamics of the process of athletics that he wouldn't typically be exposed to, because he's more focused on, his time and his skill set.
Mm-hmm.
So again, he's learning the culture of the field because he's in these mentorship spaces.
Well, people, we're talking about mentorship as we come up on that break. It's unbelievable, because I just again, I'll repeat this. I may sound like a broken record today, but that's because it's so real. What I experienced just watching this young man run this race, run one lap around the track, and he's now the Jamaican national champion. All right. We're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about some more things regarding mentorship. Like, why is this important for both the mentor and the mentee in the development? I know we touched on a couple of it already, but we want to talk deeply, specifically, about why is it important to form mentoring today. Because I myself is a mentor. I just never realized, I work as a coach in track and field, been coaching kids for the last 15 plus years. And even that, I didn't even realize I've been a head coach for 12 years. I never, I was just going through, my life. Like, yeah, I'm just here because I got nothing else to do in the afternoons, right? So I'm just teaching kids to run in circles and jump over stuff and all that stuff. But now it's just coming full circle. It took me 12 years to realize my value as a coach. Can you believe that? That is cray. All right. So we've talked about why mentoring is important for me as a mentor and for the mentee. But how does that translate to the bigger world, Professor Brooks? How does that transfer to organizations?
So within organizations, I shouldn't say within any organization, it is important to create a mentorship program within these, because there's several benefits.
Mm-hmm.
First off, you increase employee retention. There is a higher level of loyalty, and there's a decrease in the turnover. Deloitte, one of the big economic firms, says about 68% of the millennials with a mentor plan stay with an organization for 5 years, compared to 32% who don't have a mentor. Now, mentoring, like we mentioned earlier, the benefits: the mentee gains knowledge and support, they become productive, they develop confidence in their role within the workplace, and it improves their overall performance as an employee, which then puts them in a position for promotion. So when an individual feels confident and secure in what they do, and there's support helping them. And remember, we talked about problem-solving skills. So
Right.
They're learning the problem-solving skills. They're able to navigate their role within the company with more confidence.
Yeah.
They're going to stick around. Mentoring also helps with them building those, within organizations. It's important because it helps in the process of building those work-related skills. Right? There's, companies spend thousands of dollars to train employees when they first start within the company. And sometimes that training ends after that 6 weeks. You do that quick test, you get the certificate. Okay, great, you're done with training, off to, your cubicle and you're there working, and you're lost, and you
Yeah.
have to, flip through that, that folder, that binder they gave you with, these little resources, and you have to figure it out yourself. But when there's a mentor there, you develop your work skills, and your knowledge for your role at a faster rate. And that, in the end, leads to a financial benefit for the company, because you have a higher skilled workforce in a shorter length of time, so you're able to produce more.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you have the employee engagement. They're connected, they're involved, they have their mentors. There's buy-in. They go out. They're willing to attend all the company events. They're not, oh, I gotta go, Dragon. No. They're like, oh, great, I'm going out with my mentor. You're like, yeah, let's go. You have someone, that work mom, right? You have that work mom and the work dad, and the work family is created in a shorter time, and it's a deeper engagement, right? It's an authentic connection. That's what we're missing, right? These authentic connections in the world, worse yet in the workplace, because the workplaces are most times a very competitive environment.
Yeah.
So when you're part of a mentorship program, we're working cohesively, and we're creating that familial environment where there's, more trust and greater engagement. And then, of course, that leads to building a positive company culture, building that loyalty. The mentees, or these new employees who are the mentees, are integrated into the company and the company culture, and they feel, they have a vested interest in the organization, right? They become company people,
right.
Faster, because, they feel that they're part of this larger unit.
Aww.
So it's definitely beneficial to organizations to create these mentoring programs for new employees, especially when you're in an organization that has cohorts of individuals coming in together, 10 plus people training together coming in, pair them up with someone. Don't leave them to float within your organization. You'll get you'll have a higher level of productivity out of these individuals.
It's crazy because I remember 2 jobs that I had. I once tried selling cars, right? I remember I went to a regular dealership, whatever, Chevy or whatever it is. I don't remember. And when you got on the floor, there really wasn't any training. So it was like, you just gotta sink or swim. Good luck. And I'm like, I don't want to come back here tomorrow. But then when I went to this other Fortune 500 car dealership, I wanted to stay there so bad I was willing to risk my immigration status. Right? Because they put you through a training program. They taught you everything that you need to know about the job. And at the end of that training, they connected you with a mentor. And I remember my mentor, Patrick Poyser, Jamaican dude, and he sold cars. He just looked at you and say, "You're going to buy a car," right? And how many times he said that people buy the car? And I remember when I got on the floor, the first week, I was having one of those magical weeks. I was selling cars, but in that magic, I was making so many mistakes, right? With the paperwork, with everything, with the process, everything. And I got down on myself, I think the 4th day after selling 2 cars, right? I was down on myself, and I was like, yo, Patrick, I'm having too many problems, man. I don't think this job is for me. And you know what Patrick said to me that really clicked? He looked at me in his Jamaican voice and said, yo, if you weren't selling cars, you would not be making mistakes. And he walked off. But that was a huge statement. I'm making the mistake because I'm doing the thing.
Because it's
yep. If I wasn't doing it, I wouldn't be making no mistakes.
Correct.
But then it took a mentor to show me that I'm on the right path. And Lord knows he was on my side that week, because I think I sold 4 or 5 cars that first week, made a whole bunch of money because I was owing rent, So God just worked it out for me, So and I think, what, like you said though, to tie it back to the organization, I was committed to that organization to stay there a little longer. I was committed to the process. So if they told you, do this, do this, do that, and you sell a car, I was confident in doing this, doing this, doing that, because my mentor reinforced that by letting me know, if you do the job, you'll get the job done. And I think that was something very, very poignant to me at that time in my life. You know, thankfully I still have some of those. I wonder where he's at though, man. I need to go try to find him on Facebook, you know, or LinkedIn. Maybe he's on LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly. Look him up. Yeah, exactly. Google him. Just Google him.
Let's Google him. All right. So before we get out of here with this very important topic, yes, tell me.
One last thing. So being a mentor is not just, oh, okay, great, I'm a coach and I'm a mentor, right? Oh, I'm a boss or supervisor and I'm a mentor. There are 3 things that you need to have and embody if you're a mentor. One, as a mentor, you need to be available.
True.
You need to be able to make time for the mentees and to be there 100%, undivided attention, being available. That's what available is. Not just, oh, okay, we'll talk 5 minutes. No, available, fully present and involved. You need to be analytical, having the ability to analyze the situation and to reflect and think on how you would handle it, how you have handled it in the past, and be able to impart that advice. So there has to be an analytical component to who you are as a person, right? And not everybody has that analytical mindset. So again, not everybody can be a mentor.
Right.
And the most important aspect of being a mentor is being an active listener. You have to be able to listen. You are not the person's lecturer. You're not there, you're not there to just bark out, you're not their drill sergeant to bark out orders and tell them what to do. You're not even their coach, right? Because some coaches aren't mentors. I just tell you what to do and I'm your coach. Your coach, you need to do it because I said to do it, right? There are some coaches like that. But as a mentor, you listen. You hear you truly hear their challenges and concerns and what they need. And then you help them address and tackle the situation. So 3 A's of mentorship: being available, being analytical, and being an active listener.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, because sometimes he calls me with issues and I'm just asking him questions like, so have you thought about this way? What is your idea on that? So it's kind of like I'm bouncing it back to him to dig deep. So that's definitely one of the qualities that I know I represent. All right. So as we get into the wrap up of this, the benefits of formal mentoring programs. Because he and I were just a little more quote unquote family than anything else, or So what are any benefits if you got formal mentoring programs?
So informal mentoring programs, they're structured, right? They're checkpoints, they're structures, and it creates that cyclical relationship like you just kind of mentioned, where are you? What are you doing? How are you doing? The mentee's coming with the challenge and the issue, and you're pushing back. So you have this, the checkpoints are there and the structure there to create that accountability in the mentoring program. So you also tend to find that structured mentorship programs have their defined goal. So the mentee comes to the program knowing that this is my goal. At the end of this program, I want to be at this place in my coaching career. I want to be at this place in my educational career, whatever it is.
Okay.
You have this defined goal in place. And then there is a training component, right? You have the training to understand the expectations of you as a mentee and what you're supposed to expect from your mentor in this process. And then to the training, there is usually a system of questionnaires type of thing to pair up the mentee with the mentor, right? Because these are formal programs, and within these programs you have different components, right? So, if we're in a coaching mentorship program, my coaching is, let's say I'm doing leadership coaching and you're doing athletic coaching. I can't have a mentor who's an athletic coach, right? I need to have a mentor that is in the field that I'm working in, to be able to guide me in the right pathway. So you have that at the end of the training. You usually go through that questionnaire process where you're paired up then with your mentor. And then once you're paired up with your mentor, there usually is an established platform of communication. You have clear lines of where and how you're going to communicate, whether it's texting, calling, Zoom meetings, whatever it is. It's outlined and it's clear to both parties that this is the only, or these are the options for communicating outside of the mentoring, predetermined meeting times for mentoring, right? Because then within these mentorship programs, you also have pre-scheduled mentoring meetup times. So you have the formal meetup times, and you have the communication means for the informal mentoring meeting times.
Okay.
And these are great programs because through these programs you tend to have greater results. You see, and you have a stronger relationship in some cases where the relationships flourish, and you're in as human beings, we need guidance. We want guidance. We want structure. So the structure helps a lot of people, especially those who are traditionally in part of the traditionally underserved members of community. So they may not have had the scaffolding and the mentoring and the help through their K through 12 or even college education, but here they are as professionals needing this stronger outline, a stricter outline pathway to move into where they need to be in success. So as a business owner, I want to expand my brand and do more with my business. I need to get into these formal mentoring programs to now sit with people who are doing just what I'm doing and get that, that guidepost for this period of time. It may not be for the life, my lifetime, but at least for maybe the next few years, I need to have this mentorship.
No, but that's very good advice right there, man. So I'm saying, if you're hearing this conversation right now, I mean, we're coming to the end pretty much. But if you've listened, you've liked it, just please, mentor somebody today, if you can. And you know one thing, but there's a difference between a mentor and apprentice. The mentor is for leadership, whereas the apprentice is for more skilled labor. There's a difference in the two. But I'll give you one last story where, I don't know, this guy was mentoring me. I didn't even know he's my mentor. Right? This is kind of like how I chose the high school that I went to, because this kid around the road from me, he just carried himself so well, like a leader. I was like, yo, I want to be like that guy. And that went into one of the reasons why I chose the school I wanted to go for high school. You just never know. You could be mentoring somebody on the low, without even knowing.
Exactly.
Even like Wayne Brady. I dig Wayne Brady. I
do too. I do too.
And I like watching game shows because those guys actually teach me so much. The Drew Carey's, the Brady's, the Harveys. I'm learning from them. The only thing I want to do is start earning like them.
I know, right?
That'll be the true test of that mentorship program. All right,
Exactly.
No, Professor Brooks. We spent enough time on this one, but
Congratulations
to Javon. He's the Jamaican national champion in the 400 meters, and
congratulations.
He's going to be going. I don't know. They haven't selected as of the time of this broadcast. They have not, communicated the teams that they're sending, because they have the Commonwealth Games, you have the Under 23, and you have the World Championships. So just waiting to see what team he makes. Me personally, I wanted to go to the Commonwealth Games because he had never been to England. So that'll be good. He's been to Eugene already. So it'll be good for him to go to somewhere new, go somewhere different.
Yeah, definitely.
Just get that experience,
definitely.
man. But anyhow, Professor Brooks, we thank you very much again for your insights, and I hope we've guided someone in the right direction in leadership.
We hope.
All right.
Listen, mentorship is important, and it is central to the success of those that we mentor. So remember, if you want to help the young people around you, or even someone at work that you see struggling, go out there, have the conversation. You may be looking for a mentor.
Mentor them. Don't berate them like these old heads in the dance hall.
Oh, yes, please don't.
That's a whole nother discussion, man. But thank you all for listening.
Exactly.
Stay locked in, man. We got some more things coming up after the break.
Should have gone away and left you like I did, girl. I thought you'd take me back, but I was just a little bit late. I was born a winner. I know I am, yes I am. Whoa, yeah. I was born a winner. My lonely days and my lonely nights, girl. On the outside looking in, dreaming of holding you tight. Well, I guess I've had my day, you let me go my way. It's me who has to pay. A loser they call me, but now I'm a winner. Yes I am, yes I am. I was born a winner. I know I am, yes I am. Whoa, yeah. I was born a winner. Oh now, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was born a winner. You don't have to tell me 'cause I know. Whoa, I was born a winner. My lonely days and my lonely nights, girl. On the outside looking in, dreaming of holding you tight. Well, I guess I've had my day, you let